Welcome back to Fire Emblem Echoes. So, we could take back Zofia Castle today, but what if instead we covered some of the DLC? So, we've got a whole big list. Obviously, I'm not doing all of this today, and I've done some of it already, and some of that probably shouldn't be here, but, you know, sometimes playing these things totally legit creates dummy files. Anyway, here's the free stuff that you can get as long as you can connect to the internet, Mila's gifts. The first one is boots. Thanks, God. Thank you for giving me boots, God. Boots give you a +1 to movement to whoever you give them to.
And they only leave one set of footprints in the sand.
Mila's Bounty 2. Alright, come on, it's farming equipment! It's a pitchfork, I'll talk about that in a bit. It's actually a very useful item, though. And I should mention, of course, in addition, the boots are not an equipable item in case you are not familiar with the boots in the series. They are consumable items, so once you give somebody the boots, they're just on forever. Once you give somebody boots, they eat them.
I feel like of the stat boosting items, they're the most coveted.
Yeah, because +1 movement, you do not fuck with. It's useful for anybody. If you want to give your clerics an edge to get to people faster, they get the boots. If you want your knights to have less garbage movement, boots. If you want your cavaliers to be even more terrifying than they already were, boots.
Anyways, what was that Toro Shard?
So the Toro Shard is actually a reference to Mystery of the Emblem. I don't think we should have it here in Valentia, but I guess that's the next game's problem then. So anyway, Taurus, of course being a reference to the Zodiac Taurus, tells you that there are 12 of these items, all of which are references to the Zodiac signs. These equipable items as a set are known as the Astral Shards. I'll get into what they actually do later, but for now though, yeah, you just need to know that they are a reference, and you can find more than just the Toro Shard, but we do get this one for free, which is nice. But it is actually fitting that we got this particular item here, because, well, it's the Astral Temple. These are the Astral Shards. Two might be linked. Anyway, though, this is the Astral Temple. This is the first 3 DLC episodes we'll be covering today. Initially, I was going to cover 3 of them across 2 episodes, but then I decided, no, I want to get to Zofia Castle next time. So instead, we're going to start with a dungeon.
This feels like the fucking Shin Megami Tensei game right now.
It kind of does.
This looks like Soul Hackers.
Yeah, I was going to say this looks like SMT4, I think?
I'm more familiar with Soul Hackers, weirdly enough. That was the SMT game on the 3DS I played a lot of.
I saw an LP of SMT4 Apocalypse, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that game also just works by talking to cardboard cutouts in a 3D environment.
Yeah.
From what I remember, anyway. So yes, as always, you can reorder your party if you want, but I don't need to. I've got everything I need going in here. Though we are maxed out on units, going by the bottom screen. We've got all 10 we can bring in.
Now this looks like Shin Megami Tensei 4. Because you're running around as a 3D model in a 3D space. In Soul Hackers, it'd all be first person.
So, all of the DLC we're covering today is basically for different things. They're all repeatable, so You can get more items, you can grind if you want, but Astral Temple is for items.
Yeah, I'm sure that orange is still good.
Look, they wouldn't give these oranges to God if they weren't going to be used. But of course, it's not just items in Astral Temple, it's also enemies as well. But this isn't really the designated grinding spot, so if you're looking for power, look elsewhere.
So I told you off recording I'm going to start my first, hopefully complete playthrough of Fire Emblem 7 soon. Seeing you put the archer's range on the map just made me go, oh god, I'm not going to have that, am I?
Nope, you're not. You're going to have to look that up individually, and you won't be able to keep it. It sucks.
That was a thing that did not bother me at all when I played Sacred Stones as a kid. And it might prevent me from ever going back to playing Sacred Stones.
I can still play the older games relatively well, but yeah, there is often stuff I miss just because I can't keep enemy ranges at all times, and I forget things very easily. So I should mention, though, I mentioned the Toro Shard and where it originates from, and that it's an equipable item. However, it's actually a very unique equipable item, and in fact, it does what it originally did in the Mystery of the Emblem games, not the remake. It actually changes your growth rates. The Toro Shard is a nice item that gives plus 5% growth rate across the board, except resistance where it gives 2%. But that's just really good, honestly. Like, that is just all a net positive. And considering the resistance growth rates we've seen thus far, an extra 2% isn't going to help that much, but it's not going to hurt, surely.
It's still more than, like, anybody else has, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, way to go, Alm. Just dance around the guy.
Yep, completely missed, so we gotta start far away. We did get a Blessed Lance, though, so if we come across any undead, they're dead. They're going down. We'll get them.
From undead to just dead.
Also, if you hadn't noticed, Forsyth is using Fernand's Lance now.
That time, somebody got to use it.
So anyway, there are a whole lot of things you can find in the Astral Temple item-wise. So let's just go down a list. You can find Iron Sword, Iron Lance, Splitting Axe, Iron Bow, Leather Shield, Iron Shield. Very rarely the Handmade Doll and Bear Carving, which are actually useful for quests down the line. We get a whole lot of food items, which can also be useful. Ale, soup, wine, garlic, drinking water, orange, carrot, bread, flour, and most importantly, holy cheese. You might want to pick up cheeses, they can help. But ever so rare are the various shards you can get. You can get Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. Just fucking all of them. You probably won't in one run, though. That will take a long time to grind out, admittedly.
This time we were ready.
So, reason that takes so long is your percentage of finding the Astral Shards. So you have a 0.73% chance to find them in small urns and a 1.58% chance to find them in medium urns. And that's the best you get for this DLC. Admittedly, the other item grinding DLC has better chances to find it, so that's good, I guess.
Hey, there you are. Hello again, Silk. You sure are persistent. I would like to make a proposal. If you don't like gossip, why don't we talk about Sir Olm?
He's something we can bond over, don't you think?
Talking about Alm isn't fun unless Alm himself is there. Look, it's okay. Not everyone has to be friends, right?
Faye? Faye? I've lost her again.
And it's just two characters like, we really don't have anything in common, do we? Yeah, I guess not everybody has to be friends. And that's like 2 of the 3 sentences in the conversation.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorites is, like, I have 2 favorites that are just kind of silly. One of which people think is an error in Fire Emblem Fates, and if it is an error, it's a good one that is actually better than anything they could have written, but it's between 2 of, like, the silent assassin characters, and their C-rank conversation is just ellipses. People think they accidentally left a placeholder in. I prefer to think of it as being done on purpose because it's so funny. And then the next conversation, they're just talking like old pals. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm pretty sure they do talk in the C rank in the Japanese version, but no, they improved it.
Okay.
Saizo and Baruka absolutely would not speak, and then suddenly just talk about their old jobs like it was nothing. It's amazing.
I was about to lambast Fire Emblem fans for not knowing what a joke is, but if it is actually like dialogue in Japanese, okay, maybe it is an error. But just because something wasn't done on purpose doesn't mean it isn't good.
Yeah, no, that fucking rules. It's so good. Somehow that's some of the best writing in Fates.
The best writing in Fates is when they don't write anything.
My other favorite is in FE7. Dorcas and Veda have support conversations where each of them is told that they have to support each other in a fight, but individually they're like, I have no idea where the other person is, and I don't even know what they look like. Where the fuck are they? And their A-rank conversation, they meet each other and like, who the fuck are you? I don't know, who the fuck are you? Get out of my way. And that's the A-rank. They both hate each other, and they don't even know they've talked to one another.
And then they get a scene in the epilogue.
That is one that doesn't get a scene, I believe.
Oh, I thought every A-rank had a different epilogue.
No, some of them don't, unfortunately. If I remember correctly, one of my more favorite pairings is one that doesn't. Guy and Matthew, I don't think have an ending together, but yeah, it would have been great if they just had an epilogue that was just like, neither of these 2 people ever met or realized they saved each other on multiple occasions. That would have been amazing.
I want, like their children get together, but the 2 of them still never meet. They just keep missing each other. The wedding ceremony was so big they never saw each other at the same time.
That would have been amazing.
Shall we make a habit of this?
So anyway, anything else to mention about the Astral Temple? Well, there is one thing. I'm not going to bother mentioning all of the growth rates. I don't know if I'm going... actually, I'm fairly positive I'm not going to find all of the various Astral Shards, because it's a very low growth rate, and you pretty much have to grind to find them all. Oh, and we've got that guy over there who is just alone. Surely this will be an easy fight. But yeah, I'm just gonna put the chart up so you can just see what the growth rates are. Some of them are, pretty good. Some of them actually do lower growth rates, so you want to be careful about who you give those to.
I just love the visual of Alm sneaking up on what appears to be a nun and stabbing them in the back. This is a bishop, but the flowing robes, I thought nun first.
I'm just going through the temple to get a glass of milk. Oh, God!
All fucking solid snaking on a goddamn nun.
Oh yeah, also, very important thing to mention though, should you actually manage to find every Astral Shard, there is something very good in it for you. You get the Star Jacinth? Whatever it is, it should be the Star Orb. That's what I'm used to it as. It gives you plus 30% growth rates across the board, except for resistance, which only gets 5. Again, better than a lot of characters get anyway.
Mm-hmm. Now you just need to get one of those for every character.
So yeah, obviously it is a little bit easier to grind out these shards in the better version of Astral Temple, but we're not going to be covering that yet. I don't believe we found any extras so far, and I am fairly certain I'm not going to find anything good. And ooh, here's the actually tough fight of Astral Temple. So yeah, initially this is just going to be an episode on its own, but thanks to the power of speeding everything up, I shouldn't need to. It's still a long episode, but we can get this covered faster.
Flying. The arrow shouldn't carry that much force.
Mm-hmm. You also should be able to get a good shot in on somebody by just, like, doing flips and spins before you fire the arrow, but that doesn't stop Fire Emblem characters from 360 no-scoping whoever the fuck they feel like it. If you're an archer in Fire Emblem, you can just fucking spin your arrow around and then fire it immediately, no problem, if you're good enough.
Critical animations have gotten better since the, GameCube and especially the DS era of Fire Emblem games, but they're never going to recapture that magic that was on the GBA.
Mm-hmm. I am the apologist for the later 3D ones, because I feel like it's unfair to knock them. I feel like they are very good in their own way, but I'm also not going to put down the GBA ones, obviously, because they're fucking amazing. I'm glad I'm not the type who is compelled to say, I like this thing, therefore I must dislike this other thing to prove this thing's good, because fucking GBA animations are phenomenal. Are you kidding me? They're amazing.
Yeah. And I will never knock 3D models for being 3D models.
Yeah, though, to be fair, you can do some pretty good, impressive stuff with 3D models as well. I think actually Fates gets the closest to kind of emulating the GBA games, because it goes for just really unrealistic movements, but it's amazing. Very exaggerated movements. They probably look goofy in a freeze frame, but they look great in motion. I will say, though, the 3D games are excellent at conveying weight, I think, if nothing else. They're very weighty animations. I think Three Houses is best at weight, but I love how fluid the animations in general are in this game. I love how, like, any physical fight starts with the characters just running towards each other and just getting into it. Like, that's really good. I think I kind of prefer Fates because it's obviously doing, like, a lot of canned animations and all that, but, like, they're good canned animations. Like, some of those get across a lot of personality. Like, the merchant class is amazing because they start every fight freaking the fuck out.
It is nice that Fates did at least one thing right.
It did a few things right. But again, one of the best support conversations was Ellipses, so, you know.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say the 3D model versus 2D sprites thing. It's kind of a trade-off. Like, the animations are a little less goofy, a little less fun, but the in-battle, like, character models are a lot more distinct.
Yes, definitely.
Like, Clive here looks like Clive. In the GBA, he would look like every other Cavalier with blonde hair and blue armor.
Yeah. So, everything has advantages and disadvantages, of course. But, yeah. Unless they get really JoJo with the critical hit animations, they're probably not going to reach GBA level anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I forget the Ephraim Copter was a sprite edit that somebody made and is not in the game. Ephraim, in fact, does not fly into the air with his lance before falling down to murder his opponent with a critical hit.
He also doesn't just pull out a gun either, unfortunately.
That's the best one.
It's so good. Frame gun is amazing.
Another feather in our caps.
Also, while we're on the subject of critical hit animations, I've already said DS animations are kind of the worst. They're so boring.
It's just a flash, isn't it?
They move a little bit differently, but yeah, it's not an interesting move. Hey, I actually got the Capricorn Shard. I did not think I got any other ones. Score. That's a fucking, what is it? 1.58% chance is what I wrote. Thank you, Internet. Thanks for the notes, Internet, because I don't know how to delve into games myself. I can't find these percentages.
You're gonna say something about Awakening?
Yeah, Awakening's animations also kind of sucked, but they brought in the critical cut-ins, which, you know what? That's an advancement that's good enough that I can forgive the animations being a little boring.
Alright, this became a meme outside of Fire Emblem, so everybody knows we're gonna say it. So on 3, we're gonna say it together. 1, 2, 3, pick a god and pray.
Okay, that one. Yeah, the critical quotes are also a good addition. We just did that, though. Alright, well, we already delved in and found a bunch of items, so we got to keep what we found. So there we go. That's it.
I didn't even comment on the absurdity of a priest asking you to just murder everybody in a church.
They're stealing stuff. They deserve it. Alright, so that is normally where the episode would end, but we're gonna play the other DLC. So, Item Grind DLC is done. Apparently that counted as 2 turns. Sure.
Yeah, okay.
So let's move on to Wretches and Riches.
Oh, hang it all. Whatever am I going to do now? Ah, you there. Yes, you. Who else would I be talking to? You bear one of those "I'd really like to help a merchant out" faces. You see, my brothers and I run our business out of this stronghold. But recently, some lousy brigands came along and seized all of our goods. And while my brothers are gallivanting about, I'm stuck here by my lonesome. Do I look like a brigand slayer to you? Come, help a fellow out and liberate my treasure. I'll make it worth your while.
Oi! Didn't we warn you to leave us be, you cowardly pile of sheep guts?
Right then. That's my cue to run away very, very quickly. Good luck!
If you're male at birth, you look like that. If you transition, you will also just flip between this peddler and Anna. No matter what direction you go in, it'll just happen because Anna works like that.
That's a fucking warlock curse that would, like, just blow people's minds.
Anna works in mysterious ways, you see. Anna and I guess we're just going with Anthony because I can't think of any better name for them.
Mana.
I think I prefer Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony. Anthony was the only boy name I could think of with Anne in it. Andrew?
I guess that also works. So anyway, Wretches and Riches. This time around, a whole lot of enemies are trying to escape, or maybe they'll try to get a hit in on their way out, but mostly they're trying to escape. They are also holding items, but mostly we're after these guys for the gold they carry.
Did Three Houses have a DLC map like this? I don't remember this.
Pretty much all of the 3DS games had like money grinding maps that were kind of similar to this. Three Houses didn't really need like DLC for grinding maps because those were just there. It was just the normal maps, but you can play them between chapters to get specific rewards.
But they didn't have these specific setups. Like, this one in particular of, like, there are a bunch of thieves that are just trying to escape with their lives, and you have to hunt them down and murder all of them.
Back off, you lot! This is our treasure. Finders keepers and whatnot. Now run home to Mama so she don't have to get you back in pieces.
Three Houses also had, DLC that wasn't always optimal. I don't even remember what was in the first three, I just remembered Cindered Shadows, which was actually really good.
I think the first one was the maid outfits. Or, no, the first one was loungewear, second one was maid outfits. Third one was I think?
I forget if there was free DLC or not. I know Anna was free and also had a side quest, but didn't otherwise have supports, which kind of sucks.
Means you're never using her.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, jeez. The recording's having issues there, huh?
A little bit, yeah. Bandicam is unfortunately not always optimal.
It's just that wizard's magic corrupting the emulator.
It's just the particle effects from Goemon again. They're back. They've got new tricks, and they're 10 times as slick.
They're escaping into other games.
I mean, Goemon's gotta go somewhere. Poor bastard's been stuck with Konami for too long. But yeah, I don't remember most of the setups for Awakening's grind chapters, except for the roster one, where a bunch of the Entombed had stolen the roster, and everybody's like, I don't care about what's listed in the roster. I'm killing you for everybody else's sake. None of us are going to read what's on those pages. Not that there are any embarrassing secrets in mine. I think there's also a Hot Springs one as well.
Kinda remember that. I just remember doing the grinding maps.
Yeah, like, all three of these games have basically, like, grind maps, and then, like, actually fun maps that you want to play that are, like... I don't want to get too spoiler-y for the other games, but they're not quite like Rise of Deliverance in their setup, but yeah, they are chapters with a little more meat to them, like actual challenge and a bit of plotline that's kind of cool.
Yeah, Awakening just went all in because they thought that was going to be the last Fire Emblem game ever. So, like, every Fire Emblem game got a DLC pack.
I guess the one nice thing about the grind maps here is that these enemies are like actively running away, so if you accidentally get yourself in over your head and you start getting a character who's very close to death, you can just back off and you'll be fine.
That was the trick for the grind DLC in Awakening. Like, there was always a couple of the monsters that were like level 30 and had counter. So if you tried to attack them, you would die instantly.
Yeah. Yep, you could not fight them too much. Same thing for Fates as well.
Yeah, you just had to let them fuck off until you'd done the grinding maps enough to be strong enough to fight the other enemies in the grinding maps, which is kind of ridiculous now that I'm saying it out loud. Also, why is Claire surrounded by archers? How did you let this happen?
They're running away, so it doesn't matter. Though, to be fair, I should probably take these guys out because one of them might get a little bit antsy if they can't get through her. Also, I don't think they have bows anyway. Do they have quick bows? Doesn't look like they do. Oh, I should also mention, Tobin got Heavy Draw back there, which, is basically just a very powerful hit. It's, plus 8 might, plus 10 hit, and has very good range. It's got up to 3 range. But of course, like a lot of skills, it's also just a single hit. Can't double. Well, this is pretty much going to be the last round of this, because anybody I can't kill here is going to get away. Unfortunately for this man, he will not escape alive. Well, when silver finally comes in useful, I'll have plenty of it, so that's good. Yeah, 264, that's pretty good. And honestly, 5 gold is also extremely good. If you're just playing the base game, it's really hard to get up to 5 gold. Money in this game isn't always the most useful thing, but it is sparse.
Wow! You actually did it! I was sure I'd find your head separated from your... my heroes! How's that? I promise to make this worth your while. Yes. Well, you must have found some loot inside the stronghold, right? So let's just say you can keep that. I'm a reasonable fellow, after all. Anyway, as long as my brothers are gone, I'm a sitting duck here. So, you're, welcome to drop in every now and again to check on me. Please?
Alright, so there we go, that's Wretches and Riches, and now for the experience grind. Band of Bandages. With possibly my favorite introductory NPC.
Oh, ye gods, what have I done? Hey you! You have to help me, please! I traveled to this place to fight terrors and get stronger, right? But no one ever told me they fight back! That is just so unacceptable! I came here to get buffed, not to get eaten to death! I've already decided I'm gonna die in bed with the wife and kids! Well, not with them, but, you know, also, I don't have a wife yet. And I never will unless I make it out of here in one piece, you follow? Please, you have to get rid of those undead nightmares, I'm begging you!
Oh god, that must have been so fun to record. So the downside to Band of Bandages is you don't really get that big a group to go in for it, so we have to leave a whole 3 characters out of this. So let's see, this guy right here, that's one of our super tough enemies, the weird guys who look like they have less detail on them. Those guys who look like they're just trying to be like a human version of Drowsy, I guess? Kinda got yellow on top, mud on the bottom, that sort of thing. Anyway though, since we're just doing the experience grind map now, it more or less works the same way. Fight if you want, don't if you're dying. I should mention the pitchfork we got at the beginning. So, the pitchfork is a very rare item if you're playing the base game. I don't know if you probably get some at some point, but it's kind of hard to get without the DLC. Mila's Blessing helps a lot, but anyway, it is a special item that actually reclasses your character into a villager, which is potentially pretty good. It lets you kind of reset whatever class line you're going into, and actually lets you reclass certain characters outside of what they'd normally be. Obviously, it's not super useful for characters who are, well, it's not unique for characters who started as villagers like Gray and Tobin, but like, it can get you some potentially interesting class lines, and it's also the reason that every character except for Alm has a magic chart because you can reclass anybody into a mage except Alm.
Doesn't it also let you keep like your stack growths or a percentage of your stack growths?
I believe so, yes. At the very least, it doesn't like level you down or like debuff you or anything, so it does allow you to get more powerful overall. It's kind of a way to just go over limit if you want.
It's weird because like the stat caps in this game are not very high because they're working with older game design, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So you could hit a lot of those stat caps even without the pitchfork. So I don't know why you would need to like have a way to make sure you hit them.
I think it's also a reference to Original Gaiden, because if I remember correctly, you could actually, like, for the villagers at least, reach the end of the line and then go back to villager.
Well, you can do that in this game with one of the class paths. The mercenary class path. Once you reach the highest level with the last class path, you can go back to villager.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, I did not remember how exactly that worked out because I never used it when I played the game the first time. I didn't bother.
Yeah, it's not really necessary.
The whole reclassing into villager thing is neat, but yeah, it's mostly a novelty. It's not to say you can't work with reclassing people into weird classes, but again, not strictly necessary. You will survive just fine if you keep Claire as a Pegasus Knight.
I never liked reclassing in general. It always just felt kind of weird.
I liked it in the other 3DS games where you could get unique skills, but that's not really a thing here.
But I always would, like, try to end with the classes they started with.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because that's their thing. You gotta end the game while they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
That was a fine victory.
Oh, thank you! I knew you'd succeed where I failed so pathetically. I'm not a rich man, or even middle class, but I do have information. You see, I hear there's another place like this with even stronger terrors. If you do battle there, I wager you get outrageously strong in no time. Anyway, I'm done with terrors that think they have a right to attack me. So I'm going to that other temple. Yeah, that'll show them. Anyway, hope to see you there.
Alright, and that's the DLC for now. Next time, we'll actually take back Sophia Castle. Or die trying. Hopefully we don't die.